Keep your radio dial right here. You're locked into the hottest news station on the planet. Hot 702.5 in FM sound. Blazing today's hip-hop, R&B, and pop music. Keeping your radio on fire. Bringing you the hottest, realest, riskiest talk shows live 24/7 on hot7025fm.com. Keep your radio dial right here. You're locked into the hottest news station on the planet. Hot 702.5 in FM sound. Blazing today's hip-hop, R&B, and pop music. Keeping your radio on fire. Bringing you
It's your main man 360 the poet from the Morning Wood. And are you looking for the perfect drink? Well, you found it. Mimosa Royale is the perfect combination of California sparkling white wine and natural juice that is both tasty and refreshing. No artificial colors or flavors, no sugar added, and it's gluten-free. As the world's first ready-to-drink mimosa, Mimosa Royale is perfect for any occasion, day or night. You no longer have to drink 12 of those seltzers just to get that perfect buzz. At 8% alcohol, Mimosa Royale is the perfect drink to party with. Offered in a variety of flavors and sizes, you are bound to find a Mimosa Royale that you'll love. We have berry, mango, apple, and orange, with more flavors to come. Mimosa Royale is the most award-winning flavored wine that serves in bottles or cans. You can find them online at drinkmimosa.com or find them at your local liquor store. Ask for it by name. Mimosa Royale. It's your main man 360 the poet from the Morning Wood. And are you looking for the perfect drink? Well, you found it. Mimosa Royale is the perfect combination of California sparkling white wine and natural juice that is both tasty and refreshing. No artificial colors or flavors, no sugar added, and it's gluten-free. As the world's first ready-to-drink mimosa, Mimosa Royale is perfect for any occasion, day or night. You no longer have to drink 12 of those seltzers just to get that perfect buzz. At 8% alcohol, Mimosa Royale is the perfect drink to party with. Offered in a variety of flavors and sizes, you are bound to find a Mimosa Royale that you'll love. We have berry, mango, apple, and orange, with more flavors to come. Mimosa Royale is the most award-winning flavored wine that serves in bottles or cans. You can find them online at drinkmimosa.com or find them at your local liquor store. Ask for it by name. Mimosa Royale. It's your main man 360 the poet from the Morning Wood. And are you looking for the perfect drink? Well, you found it. Mimosa Royale is the perfect combination of California sparkling white wine and natural juice that is both tasty and refreshing. No artificial colors or flavors, no sugar added, and it's gluten-free. As the world's first ready-to-drink mimosa, Mimosa Royale is perfect for any occasion, day or night. You no longer have to drink 12 of those seltzers just to get that perfect buzz. At 8% alcohol, Mimosa Royale is the perfect drink to party with. Offered in a variety of flavors and sizes, you are bound to find a Mimosa Royale that you'll love. We have berry, mango, apple, and orange, with more flavors to come. Mimosa Royale is the most award-winning flavored wine that serves in...
Okay. Maybe that's what we all needed, some Mimosa Royale. I definitely wrote it down because, anything like a good Sunday brunch with a few mimosas, you know what I mean? Especially hanging out with your homegirls. I'm glad to say I have some female friends I don't have to worry about. They'll be trying to sleep with me all the time, so that's pretty good. Anyway, welcome back. Happy Wednesday, everybody. It is a new week, new day, but a great week, good day. I'm hoping you all had the same. This past week has been pretty productive. I will say productive, for sure, especially because my kids have been putting me on overtime when it comes to playtime. You know, when it comes to playing outside and stuff like that, they don't settle for the bare minimum no more. Now you got to tire yourself out and pass out in front of them, and then they'll understand that you need some alone time. But it was very productive what I saw. Admit they did show me one thing. I'm not in shape no more. I'm definitely not as in shape as I used to be. So I'm pretty sure my New Year's resolution is to get rid of my my father figure, and go ahead and enjoy my last year of it and get it out of my system and get back healthy and on the right path. I'm sure I can keep it and be a little healthier, but if I'm gonna go for, go big or go home, right? Go big or go home. Work has been nice. I ran into my first little issue at work this past week that kind of put me in my feelings, but also made me realize as a supervisor, there's accountability that has to be held, and Um, that's my place, and that's what I'm there for. So it wasn't too much of a bad thing. It was just more so of a humility thing, I guess. Made me a little more humble when it comes to work. So I did appreciate that for sure, for sure. Um, my daughter was supposed to be having Miracle. Her birthday's Tuesday next week. She'll be 3, my little baby. I was supposed to actually, they would be doing a party for her, but me and her mother agreed that when it came to the birthday party, we're just gonna call it a wrap and not do it. Um, I'm off that Tuesday, which is her actual birthday, so probably just take her out the day and do stuff with her. Take her out to where she wants to go and have fun. Of course, I'm gonna do breakfast and brunch and all of that good stuff. Maybe one of those indoor playgrounds. And I'm actually thinking about taking her to get her nails and feet done. Clear coat only. I had to remind her mother that I would only allow clear coat. She's only 3. I just want her to experience it. It's not about the colors of the nails. Um, but we'll get that taken care of and get that situated. So I'm pretty happy that we came to an agreement about that. To where, I mean, we already spent. Well, my mom pretty much spent more money than me, so but spent some good amount of money on the birthday supplies. But to hell with it, we got 4 kids. They can all play around with them and have fun. It's not that deep. Um, and then in this past week, man, well, oh my God. So let me tell y'all. So I have officially uh, given the keys to my vehicle to my brother. I have sold my car to him, and now it belongs to him. I kind of let it go. Better situation for the household, long story short. But I gave it to somebody that really needed the car. I'm never ashamed to get on the bus. So, me personally, if I got to get around on the bus, I will. But lately I haven't had to because it's between my brother and my kid's mom. Everything's been working out great. But then this past week, her car went out. Oh my God, it was like 3 days, 2 or 3 days, and it was just the worst because neither one of us having a vehicle with kids and they have to get to school, get from school. Maybe the kids need something. Maybe the baby needs milk and diapers, or the Miracle needs pull ups, or the kids need something, or they're hungry. Stressful. I will say that much. It was very stressful, just for the simple fact of the school purposes. Good thing is Monday and Tuesday are my off days, so it wasn't that much of an issue since a couple of the days were Monday and Tuesday. So that was pretty cool. But after school, I'm typically like to want to take them somewhere or do something with them, so they don't just feel like they cooped up in the house. Which came back to all of that cardio and stuff I was just telling y'all about. We just went outside more since we couldn't go anywhere. I did what I would do if I was a kid. I can't go nowhere. Well, let's go outside. Um, Also, one thing I will say is I'm happy for this Temu app. I don't care what nobody say. I've done shopping for the kids, for their clothes, shoes, and I think altogether with everything I've spent, maybe like $300. But I've gotten all 4 of the kids multiple pairs of clothes and shoes, a couple toys here and there, a few other items that I may have wanted. But with all of that being said, man, I got the majority of what I needed done for Christmas taken care of for only $300. And I know it may say only, but with 4 kids and only having to spend 300, you don't understand. I'm proud of myself. Like, I feel like I set a new record. You know what I mean? I feel like I set a real new record for it. Especially because Christmas is coming up. So I'm preparing and planning ahead for Christmas. So if I get all the necessities out the way now, when December comes, those little 1 or 2 items that they want, I can get them easily without having to worry about stressing myself. Um, Definitely over that shit. I'm not stressing about taking care of my kids anymore. I can't keep doing that. One other thing I just wanted to talk about in this past week, one big subject that I keep hearing is the matching pajama subject. And I tell everybody this. I've recently been saying it a lot. I have 4 kids and they have a mother. I will always be able to take matching pajama pictures. I don't care what nobody say. Speaking of, I just might go ahead and order some just to show, you know what I mean, that I mean what I say and I say what I mean. But everybody else, y'all don't go over here reaching out in these toxic situations you got out of, none of these bad abusive situations you got out of, or mentally abusive situations you got out of, just to have matching pajamas. It's not worth it. Now, if y'all got kids together, hey, to each his own, because here I am, I might do the same thing. But I'm definitely not going to go to a situation that I have no attachments to just for matching pajama pictures so I can put on social media so that other people can be happy. Um, I want to do matching pajama pictures, and if I do it with anybody, it'll be my kids and their mom, due to the fact that that will create memories for my children later on down the road. They'll have pictures of their family. They'll have stuff like that to look back on. I didn't have none of that as a kid. I didn't have family pictures, matching pajama pictures. I didn't have none of that good shit. You know what I mean? So I would love to create those memories for my children, regardless of the status of me and their mom or whatever is going on between us. I will still love. Well, that was definitely not the plan, but sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen. We had some technical difficulties there with that. My apologies. Back what I was saying though. A lot of people are afraid to be able to bring their kids together and try to do something memorable for them. Like I said, me personally, I didn't have it, but I will create it for them. I think it's a great idea. A lot of y'all though, y'all doing it for the wrong reasons. A lot of people are going with motherfuckers they know they shouldn't be dealing with, and all for social media. It's not the same. Don't do that. Don't get caught up in a situation that you don't need to. Anyway, other than that, then this past week, everything has been great. Everything has been golden. Miracle is definitely showing her jealousy side a lot more now that, with Junior. So I got to be more careful with that to show her just as much as attention. Show all the kids the same amount of attention. Even though he's a baby, he requires a little bit more. I still try to show them that I do pay attention to them as well so they don't feel left out. Even though I know this is a jealousy thing, I figure if I show a little bit more attention, even away across the board, it'll eliminate itself. The problem will disappear itself. Now, my main thing that I want to talk about today, now that I got the week out the way, um, I okay. Well, I guess today's the day to try to pull up my phone. That's crazy. Nobody ever called me until I'm ready to do a show. Now they got my number all of a sudden. Back to what I was saying. My apologies again. But child support. I keep seeing this thing on Facebook that is talking about child support and how $500 is not a month, or $500 a month is not enough to take care of a kid, one single kid. It's per kid. Um, the basis of that argument came from the fact that there's a father who's on child support. The mother of his child asked him to send some more money to buy some shoes for the kid, and the wife stepped in and said, "No, I'm not okay with that. I feel like you're paying $500 a month in child support, and she should take the money out of that to get what he needs." Now, I I I want to play both sides as I do so well, devil's advocate. I completely understand where the wife is coming from. As a father, though, 9 times out of the 10, if my child does need something, and even though I would be paying child support, if I got to get it for him and I have it, I'll get it. Like, I'm not going to argue about it. But in for argument's sake, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to speak on it. for argument's sake, she's correct. If you're paying $500 a month in child support, take the money out of the child support and go from there. Because you can't tell me that a consistent $500 a month is not going to work and haven't been helping and benefiting for you and the kid. I say that because I grew up with no child support. And I'm telling you, as a kid, teenager, 18, 19, $500 would have been lovely for me as an adult. Right now with my kids, if I was to pay 500 per kid, which I would probably be homeless if I did, but I also hold my own and do what I need to do, so we meet each other halfway. But if I was to pay $500 per kid, I know for sure my kid's mom wouldn't need for nothing when it comes to the kids. Even if they needed new shoes, new anything, she would be able to make it happen with that money I give her on a consistent basis. I'm going to say it just like that. Again, I didn't receive nothing, so consistently receiving that kind of money every single month, that'll be wonderful. That'll be wonderful. And you're not buying a new pair of shoes every single month. Because for one, unless he is growing sporadically, you don't need a new pair of shoes every single month. Unless he's in a sport where his shoes are constantly being torn or eaten up where he needs to replace them every month, you don't need shoes every single month. So I know you're not taking that 500 and buying a new pair of shoes every single month. So I know you can take some money out of that to put it towards shoes. Another great thing that I want to throw out there, and we don't know if this situation is that, we don't know what's all being received, but somebody stated that the mother could be receiving welfare, which is food stamps, right? Because if the father's on child support, you got to be right to go get food stamps. So also when it comes to food, you're not really spending a lot of money on food. If you are receiving food stamps, granted, kids do eat a lot. Also, nobody knows if they have shared custody of this child. You don't know if the child is with the parent 1 week and the mom 1 week, the dad 1 week, or the mom 1 month, the dad 1 month. You don't know how that operation goes, if it's year by year, month by month, week by week. You don't know how that situation is. So you don't really know what's really going on. But all in all, I will say that ultimately it's a bullshit ass argument that's happening. Like, granted, a lot of people that are saying he needs to just cough up the money, you're money hungry and greedy. Because you don't know what bills and what situation he got over there with his wife. You don't know how many kids they have, how many children they have. He's not saying he's forgetting about his child. He pays $500 a month to make sure that that child has some kind of financial assistance every month. You don't know what kind of time schedule he has to keep that child. So don't bring all under that. He may be a deadbeat. He's not showing around and money isn't everything. Because you don't know any of it. And from the sounds of it, he's around. You know what I mean? Now, also with it, one statement that somebody made that really made me happy to hear, one statement somebody made was, ladies, if $500 isn't enough money to take care of a child per month, then give the kid to his dad and you pay $500 a month. And I didn't see nobody jumping to do that. If it's going to be so much easier for you, why not give the child to his father and you pay the $500 a month and let the father deal with the extras? What's so hard about that? Nothing. It's not. But you know why a lot of people won't do it? A lot of women won't do it for control because y'all want to hold it over these men's heads with these kids, which, man, y'all need to step up and go get the rights to y'all father, y'all children. Go get custody and share custody because it'll take away all that power y'all think these women have. Y'all are also greedy. Some women are greedy. Y'all want to use all that money because, sometimes it ain't going towards the kids. I have family members, I have friends. They tell me when they grow up, with child support, they never saw a penny of it. And what I mean by that is they didn't get new clothes. They didn't get new shoes. They got hand-me-downs. They got, second this, second that. They didn't get nothing that would help or benefit them. And when you tell me if somebody is paying child support and you can't buy that kid not one new thing, that's greedy to me. It doesn't matter that the kid is living there. Yes, it's going towards the bills, but you should also make sure that child is okay, right? Simple as that. These kids, they come first in a sense. You know what I mean? When it comes to responsibilities, they're your first responsibility. Not getting your hair done, not worried about looking good, not going out to the club, none of that stuff. Because I hear a lot of y'all, are actually out there giving them to your friends and families to watch while you go out. And, you don't have the ones you already have, but you're going to have more kids. So you don't already watch the ones you got. Anyway, I say that because everybody tries to attack the fathers, the single fathers. I'm a father. You know what I mean? So I'm not going to let you attack us when I know there's plenty of us out there doing our goddamn thing. You know how I know that? Because statistics show that this generation of fathers is the best generation of fathers, the millennial dads. We are the best generation to ever come when it comes to these kids and these children. So you can't sit up here and tell me we don't want to be around, we're not being involved, because we are the most involved. We are the most active. We doing that. You know what I mean? So call it what you want, but we're doing that. To just bring you some little articles, like I like to do every time, because I like to back up my statements with a little bit of evidence and facts, as you like to call it. This post is actually from October 13th, 2023, pretty recent. I tried to find something as recent as I could, so that way we don't have to worry about any arguments or any disagreements. But this is from the Daily Star from last month, and it says, termed the best generation of dads ever in history, millennial dads are absolutely nailing it with their involvement and dedication. From attending Lamaze classes to changing diapers, taking the kids out to being involved in PTMs, millennial dads are quite the apology for their past generations. Like, we grew up with dads. We grew up not having dads, so we don't want to ever experience that shit or let our kids experience it. A study conducted by the Pew Research Center shows that 57% of today's dads treat fatherhood as a focal point in their identity. They score just a notch below their women counterparts. Oh my goodness, just a notch below the women counterparts as to how serious we take parenting. My office does not yet have a parental leave policy. I use up all my sick leave and annual leave days to give myself a month with my newborn son. I was in tears when the 30 days were up, reminisces Eamon Shockett, a young banker. Now, what's so funny about that is because when I was actually Terrence was the very first child, and right around that time, they gave us this thing which was like an unpaid leave as a father, as a new father. So I was able to take the 4 weeks off, but I got no pay for that. So every time I took off, I took a hit to my wallet. So my apologies there. So sorry to come back to that. With Terrence was born, I had that leave. So to prepare for me not missing out on money, I actually had to go ahead and plan ahead. So when they told me the benefits and I knew ahead of time, I saved up what I could. I put aside what I can. Try to pay bills up ahead of time for a month or two, just to make sure I had myself some breathing room. So it was nice those few weeks I did have at home with her and the baby, because we built a bond, and it was great to be able to help out, great to assist, so she didn't have to shoulder that weight all by herself. So it was pretty cool. It also says a couple of generations back, societal roles were clear and distinct. The man earned and the woman kept house. As a result, even if fathers did want to spend time with their children, the time constraint was just too much. Mothers were tired all the time, and fathers generally absent from the scene. And I get that, because even at the point where we had a combined household, I was working two jobs. So even though, granted, one was working at home, it was overnight. So it was 8 p.m. to 6 a.m. or 10 p.m. Sorry, 8 p.m. to 4 a.m. or 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. But with that, my kids are typically getting ready to get in bed or already asleep, laying down. So we don't really get to spend no time together, especially with the fact that when they is getting up in the morning, waking up, I'm going off to another job. It was just very, very, it was a lot, but it was worth it because I had to take care of my kids, take care of family. Almost as if to compensate, the current generation has decided to change the trend. More emotionally aware, intelligent, and expressive, men are now realizing that crucial roles they play both as husband and as fathers. As women become equal contributors to household expenses, men have stepped up to level the ground for their partners. Because, man, when I realized that it was like I was spending so much time at work, I wasn't really doing that much, I would dedicate all of my off days, all of my free time would be to the kids, to the family. I didn't need to go out anymore. I didn't need to do anything. To make up for the time I was missing as in working, I would make up by the time of going out, I would spend it with the kids or with the family. Because, to be fair, I don't need to go out if I ain't spend time with my family. I don't need them to forget who the hell I am. Like, God damn, I'm definitely trying to make sure, my kids know who I am or remember me, growing up, and they see me around. I don't want them to think I'm like my father and I'm a magician. I don't want them to think I have a great disappearing act, A father to a spirited 3-year-old boy, Rachel Bart I mentioned, I saw my wife struggle. Or sorry, Raheel Bart I mentioned. I saw my wife struggle. We were both new parents, and it was appalling how society would just expect her to manage everything just because she is a mother. It takes a village, but for those who don't have one, it can definitely do with a partner. So, what I say all the time, it don't matter what argument y'all bring about mother versus father, these kids need both of us. They need their mother and they need their father. Regardless of what you may say, they need both. So I don't want to keep hearing all of that shit. Oh no, I can do it by myself. You can, but you shouldn't. You shouldn't. Younger fathers want to change the narrative for their sons, considering that a lot of them are well read on the subject and understand the benefits of hands on parenting. They are more willing to be part of the process for their offspring, no doubt. Okay. Sorry about that. Sorry about that. My son was born in the thick of COVID, reminisces his father. That's how Miracle was, my youngest daughter. Um, and manufacturing professional Aziz Lakhani, the world was transitioning from offline to online, and this gave me time to slide smoothly into my role as a father. Aziz affirms, adding that even if the world has come back to speed, he never wishes to let go of the responsibilities he has willingly taken on for his son. I want my child to remember me as someone who wanted to be there for him. That's so funny because with all of my kids, I always say this to y'all. Let me step back a second. I always say that the only goal I've ever had in life is to be a father. I just want to be a father, take care of my kids, live a great life. That's all I want to be. I want the white picket fence with the family. That's it. That's all I'm asking for. And one thing I never want my children to feel like is that they held me back from anything. Because my sole purpose is to be a family man. So once I had kids, my goal is to help them build their dreams. My dream is to help them reach whatever dream they want to get. Everything about me is to the point is I just want to be here to raise children, to help them be successful, to help them be respectful, to help them be just great people all around. Everybody has their faults. My children will not be perfect. They will not be perfect adults. The hell, they're not perfect kids. But what I will say is I want them to be able to understand that you have to grow constantly. Growth is something it's not going to happen because your birthday is here every year. It's not going to happen because you had an aha moment this one random time. Growth is working on yourself every single day because you see that there's change and you're the one that can make it happen. You can't rely on nobody else to grow for you because they gonna downsize you. Don't let nobody tell you how big you can be. That's why one of the things is I'm gonna raise my kids by watching certain movies and showing them certain things. The one movie I can't wait to teach my son or watch with my kids is Pursuit of Happiness. Because I love in that movie that he challenges his son, but at the same time, when he needs to be the father, he's a great father. He just needs to. The whole movie is about him being a great father. And when he needs to challenge his son because his son felt like he couldn't do it, he said, "Don't even let me tell you can't do nothing. Don't let nobody tell you what you can and can't be. If you feel like you can be a basketball player, be the best basketball player you can goddamn be. Simple as that. If you feel like you can be a great football player, be the best football player you can be. You want to be a scientist, be the best scientist you can be. I want to be the person that motivates my children, make them feel like if you wanted to go reach for a star and pull it down, you can do it. I want to give them that much confidence in themselves. My entire goal in my entire life is to dedicate myself to them and them only. What happens when they get of age and they get older? Hey, now we can kick back and enjoy life together. That's what we can do. Now I can help them build their kids' dreams. You know what I mean? And hopefully their kids' dreams. Maybe I can be the one that can be there to motivate the generations to come from my bloodline in a healthy way. I didn't have a healthy upbringing. I had a very toxic one. I had a very crazy one. And I don't want none of my blood. I want it to stop here. What they say it is, you break in generational curses. And that's what I'm trying to do. I want to do that all around. I don't want to be the person that's, looking down the road and my son is feeling the same way I did growing up because I choose to stop being around or stop being there. I don't want my kids to feel like that. I don't want my kids to feel like they can't come in when something happens. I love the fact that no matter what the situation is, when my kids ask their mama something or first something and she say no, the very next words out of my kid's mouth is, don't worry about it. I'm going to call my daddy. Don't worry about it. I'm going to call my daddy. My daddy will do it for me. He always do it. I love the fact that no matter what, they know that if their mama can't do it or if they need it, they go to their parents. And if their mama ain't got it, they come to their daddy. I mean, they can always come to me first too. They don't. Well, Terrence do, but still, y'all get the picture. At the end of the day, they don't second guess nothing. They say, well, you know what? I wanted to give you the benefit of the doubt to get it. But if you can't understand, I'm going to call my daddy because they know, daddy, I make shit happen. I'm a father. I'm going to make shit happen. So I get that part when he says, I want my child to remember me as someone who wanted to be there for him. I want my kids to remember me as somebody that wanted to be there for them. All I want to do in life is teach them, lead them, and help them grow. That's it. Though the dads of generations before weren't nearly as involved, it didn't mean they were bad fathers. Being a son is easy. Being a father is tough. Muses Rahil, giving his own father grace and tribute. When a son becomes a father, he wishes to emulate his dad. I want to be a worthy role model for my son. Now, it's funny that they say that because honestly, yes, when I became a father, you know, I've never done this before. I've never had somebody show me or lead me on where I needed to be. None of that. All I know is that when I became a father, I wanted to be nothing like my dad. And, you know, everyone asked me, how do you feel about your father? I've completely forgiven that man. I've completely forgiven him. I've called it a day. Like, it is what it is. There's no bad blood. I don't have any animosity towards him. I don't have any hate towards him. Like, it is what it is. You know what I mean? Like, he chose his path. I chose mine. One thing I always say, my parents may not have wanted me, but I made a damn sure that I made a mark on this planet before I left. You know, like, everybody loves and appreciates me. I try to be a great person. So no matter what came from my parents, my kids will never see any of that shit. I refuse to let them follow in the toxic patterns of behaviors that I had to grow up in. I have another article for y'all. This was from medium.com. And this was actually from April 8th. It was a little further back. But again, I've been trying to find ones that are closer to today's date because I know how y'all get with statistics and, all of that good stuff. So this talks about single father households, how they do vastly better than single mothers. And here's the real reason why. Now, before I read this article, again, I'm going to say this because a lot of people hear me with the intent to reply and not understand. So I don't care who the child lives with or where it may come from, who they're living with. What I do care about is these children need both parents. They need the mother and they need the father. It doesn't matter how much more of a part you are trying to play. Don't try to fill a role you cannot fill. They need the mother and they need the father. I have to say that because it put emphasis on it because y'all will take everything from this article and run wild, okay? Now, the consensus is mothers typically make better parents than fathers, yet single fathers do better than single mothers. Here is why. Now, again, this is only giving you reasons on why they're doing better with single fathers for that whole argument of, if $500 is too much for you to pay, ladies, go ahead and give the child to his father and you pay the $500 a month. And you know what happens when you pay the $500 a month? Stuff like this. I'm just going to read the article because, at the end of the day, don't shoot me or don't shoot the messenger. That's the phrase I like to say. Don't shoot the messenger. Now, again, this article is from, let's see here, medium.com. It was posted April, and let me go back. I just kind of want to talk about the first thing it says here. All right, so it says the consensus, we already read that part. It's extraordinarily well documented how much of a disadvantage children from single mother households have over children whose parents remain together. But less well documented is how much of a disadvantage they have over single father households. Wow. A disadvantage they have over single father households. A disadvantage, not an advantage, disadvantage. For example, studies have found that children that from single mother households are 5 times more likely to commit suicide than children from both unbroken households and single father households. 9 times more likely to drop out of high school, 10 times more likely to abuse chemical substances, 14 times more likely to commit rape, 20 times more likely to end up in prison, and 32 times more likely to run away from home. I'm going to stop there for a second because there's an easy answer as to why this is there. What I like to say about that is it's discipline. Um, and I'm not saying mothers don't discipline, but they discipline a little different than fathers do. I was reading or I was watching a short video, and the video just explained how a father's love is a disciplinary love, and it resembles God's love, a disciplinary love. How if a kid was to fall, the mother would be there because emotions are there, right? So the mother would be there like, oh, are you okay? Are you okay? Are you okay? That's what a father's like, what are you doing? Get up, stop falling, on the first time, right? And it just goes to show how I don't want to take away from single mothers because I know y'all can do it. I know that y'all can have that right discipline. And the only reason I know that is because regardless of the relationship between me and my mother, she had that discipline. She put fear in our hearts to make sure that we were respectful. We did what we were asked. We didn't get out of line. We didn't act out. Like she had that in us to let us know, like, you're going to be respectful. So I see a lot of women say that they just don't have the heart to do it. But in my eyes, this is what I'm going to say. And please don't shoot me and take me down the hill for this. Stop trying to raise the men that left you and raise these kids with the boys. Mainly with the boys is what I'm talking about. Stop trying to raise these men that left you and raise your son, raise your child. Don't try to be a wife to your child. Try to be a mother to your child. I say that because my mother had a strict line of being a mother versus being a wife with us. So when it got to a point where we had to be respectful, or if somebody crossed the line with us, yes, my mother may have had our back, but if we were in the wrong, my mother grilled us in front of them, so they would know that we got in trouble too. And she did it in a way of respect because she don't want nobody thinking she's raising entitled children to where she's taking up for them. She gonna say it in front of us because we gonna get that look on our face where oh, we in shit when we get home. We in trouble. We ain't finna play. She ain't finna play with us. Because one thing she understood is y'all may be my kids, but y'all young black kids. My mama didn't play that shit. You know what I mean? She wasn't playing none of that. So one thing I'll say is she had the discipline for us. So as growing up with a single mother, with all the statistics, she was on welfare, father was out of the home, I had no dad around, all of the shit you want to throw my way, my mother still made it happen. So I know that some way, somehow, it can be done. It can be. And the biggest difference I see between how I was raised versus how some of these young men are being raised now is that y'all want to be these kids' friends more than y'all want to be their parents. And, I'm just going to flat out and say it. Fuck them kids in the most respectful way. You are not their goddamn friend. You are there to be a parent first. You are there to teach them, lead them, and guide them before anything. So take the friendship out of it. You worried about their feelings getting hurt? Oh, fucking well. Children's feelings will be hurt a million times. As long as it is just, and when I say just, don't go in a room and snatching candy out the kids' heads and pushing them in their head just to piss them off or hurt their feelings. What I mean by that is because they can't eat junk food before dinner and their feelings hurt, oh, fucking well. Your feelings are just going to be hurt. You need to eat some real food, and then we'll let you get a snack or dessert afterwards. That's how that works. I'm not here to make sure you are pleased. I'm here to make sure you are respectable, make sure you are successful, make sure you can grow. I'm here to be a parent. I'm here to all of the other shit is played out. I don't care to be your friend. What my mama used to say, that famous line everybody mama used to say, I'm not one of your little funky ass friends. I take that to heart. I don't need you to be my friend. I need you to be my child and listen to me when I ask you to do something and let me guide you in a place and guide you a direction. Because one thing I'm not out here to do is to point you in the wrong direction and put you down the wrong path. That it would be horrible. I'm here to put you on a better path than I had so you can be a better person than I ever was. I don't need you to be like me. I need you to be better than me. I need you to be above me. I need you to grow faster than I could. I need you to grow better than I could. Am I holding you to those expectations? I'm not holding you to anything. I'm not holding you to nothing. I just feel like if I do my job right and I do it consistently in raising these children, they will be better than me. They will grow at a better rate than I did. They will have better guidance than I did. I will make sure they have better guidance than I did. You know what I mean? Like I'm on that 24/7. So I had to stop and say that because, man, it's just, It's it irritates me a little bit. It irritates me a little bit. Now the list does not stop there. Single mother households also account for 70% of all teen pregnancies, 70% of all child murders, and they account for the majority of filicide cases, which means, yes, a child living in a single mother household is the most likely to be murdered by their parent. Now, because I like to play devil's advocate, I don't want to make it seem like these mothers are just killers. What that is trying to say is that these mothers are under so much pressure, they're so overwhelmed with these children that they're not really being able to focus right, and they're doing crazy, illogical shit. It sounds like if they had the help they needed from the father, which again reiterates my statement, reemphasizes my statement, they need both parents. If they had the help from the father, you wouldn't have to worry about this 70%. It would be easier for both parents to deal with kids like that. I'll tell you right now, I believe that fact. I believe that stat that 70% of suicides are from the single mother household. You know why? Because growing up as a kid with a single mother, I was suicidal. So yes, I do believe that shit. Yes, I do believe it. For sure, for sure. But it's crazy. But it just goes to show, man, they need us. They need both of us. But when you talk about single fathers like they not out here doing that goddamn thing, come and look at these kind of statements and facts. They tell you the whole thing. They tell you the whole deal. You ain't got to worry about nothing at all because these facts, these statements will tell you everything you need to know. This is proof in the pudding. It's on black and white. You know what I mean? Most at this point would probably think that the stepfather is the main killer and reason. However, studies have found this to be false, and that step parents are no more likely to kill children than their biological counterparts. This means inevitably the single mothers are on average the biggest killers of children. Some studies even show the mothers are the biggest killers of children overall. Though it should be noted that others, I'm glad they said it should be noted, that others show it to be fathers, while others show that men and women are equally as likely to kill their children. So even though they have it to the point where it's saying 70% for this actual study, they have other studies out there that show it could be either or it could be both equally. Honestly, what that means to me is when you take one out of the equation, you are harming these children. You are putting them in harm's way for your selfish needs. I don't give a fuck if you feel like the mother is being difficult. Go to court and get custody. I don't feel like if you feel like the father's being difficult, go to court, set an agreement, set an arrangement. Y'all want to do all of this complaining about what's going wrong and what's not going right when you can be doing what you need to be doing to get everything to go right. But because y'all can't take the stick out y'all asses and stop being petty for 2 fucking minutes and understand that it's about these children, not you, you don't get nowhere but circles. You know what I mean? And I'm not sure if this is the Marcus Houston song, but I don't want to be going in circles when it comes to parenting. Not like that. Not bad ones anyway. If it's healthy, hell yeah, but not a bad one. Damn. Regardless of the dynamics of this complex point, all of this seems crazy considering the consensus is mothers make better parents on average than fathers, yet the data seemingly says otherwise. So the consensus will tell you mothers make better parents, but when you look at the actual data, the actual proof, the actual facts, it tells you that fathers are the better parents. Single parents, when it comes to having to raising kids in a single household, a father will do a better job. Is that trying to take away from mothers at all? No, it's not. It's not trying to take away at all. All it's trying to tell you is that don't tell a man or don't make it seem like we as men, we can't be fathers and we can't be single fathers when we are this generation, like we are the best leading generation of fathers to be. It's just, it sucks. Most women are going off of stories they heard from their parents or grandparents or, people that they have. And I hate it right now. Let me tell you something right now. The one thing that I'm starting to get tired of. Stop talking about the fact of parenting or single fathers and you don't have no goddamn kids. Why are you even in the conversation? It's like Chris Brown said, why you hate from outside the club? You can't even get in. You want to be a commentator so bad on parenting? Go have a kid. Get in this game, coach, and see how it is. Stop trying to talk from the outside looking in. I can tell you all day long how many hits somebody should have dodged in the boxing match. But if I get in that ring, I won't dodge every single one. You know why? It's easy to judge on the outside looking in. And I say that to y'all with a little bit of anger, but more passion than anything. If you're not a parent, mind your fucking business. Get out of this conversation. The adults are talking. Simple as that. The adults are talking. But it also says, in fact, The only disadvantage to living with just your father rather than both of your parents appears to be that you are more likely to be promiscuous in adulthood, which isn't even a problem. Hello, you're an adult. You're grown. You do whatever the fuck you want. Okay. I mean, it's crazy, and as a mother, it makes no sense to the writer, mainly because it all seems to imply that men don't need women to raise children well, but women need men. And I hate that it implies that because it shouldn't imply it that way. What you should be taking from it is women can raise single women can raise kids, right? But they're going to have a tougher job doing so than the fathers. That's what you should take it as. And with that being said, you should also look at it as a father. I never want my kid's mother to go through what my mother went through as a single mother. So you should never want your kid's mom to be doing it alone, especially if you grew up without a dad. I have no respect for any man that won't take care of his kids. I have no tolerance or respect for a man that won't, if you can sit here and tell me that all you need to do is pay money but not see them kids, I don't like you. If you ain't trying to see the kids and you got multiple kids and you ain't trying to do nothing about these kids or be there for them, I have no tolerance or respect for you. You can go to hell for all I care. Because you chose a selfish reason of living your life continuously while them children are going to be struggling with their mothers by themselves. You are raising children that are going to most likely fall into stereotypes that they don't need to be in. And I can't fuck with y'all for that reason. Anytime you see a man that's around me and he doesn't take care of his kids, that's a lie. You ain't seeing me. It's a ghost you're seeing. Because anybody that's not doing it, I guarantee you I done called them out on it. Because fatherhood is the best hood to be from, if you ask me. If you can fight over colors, you can go take care of them kids because they got to learn colors in school. So stop giving me the excuses about why you ain't want to be a dad. Oh, the mama making out, go to court. Stop being a bitch. Go to court. That's what you need to do. The question is, what gives have we all got it wrong and fathers are actually the better parents? And it goes on, but let me go ahead and read this little part here. Many argue economics must be the difference. They are wrong. It's popular to say that because single mothers are more likely to be in poverty, it must be economic differences that explain the data. However, studies have found that economics does not explain it. It's the same story even if the single mother is not in poverty. It seems poverty largely explains the typical cognitive attainment deficit for children from single mothers, but it doesn't explain the differences in emotional outcomes nor all the other issues. I was actually surprised by this and so went to my kids' school. They are at a rather expensive private school, and I asked the teachers, and they told me that the more often than not, the children that cause the most problems and have the most problems tend to come from single mother households. And I think that's because when it comes to some of these children with emotions, women are emotional as well. But I think the fact that women are emotional and they're raising, children which are also emotional, the fact that they don't have somebody there that's emotionally intelligent enough to explain, decipher, and deal with the emotions with you and the children, it's a bit tough and a bit hard for them. But as a father, we can see it as, I get it. Like they say, you shouldn't be vulnerable as a man or express your feelings, but it's knowing how and when to be vulnerable is what makes you a man, not being vulnerable. So we can sit there and say, like I tell my kids, especially my boys, or my son Terrence mainly, because Junior just got here. But I tell him all the time, you want to cry? Okay, that's fine. Stand up and cry. Stand on your 2 feet. I don't care about you crying. Just make sure you have a valid reason for doing so, and make sure you're standing on your 2 feet. Because you know what your daddy do? When I need to cry, I go turn in that shower, and I go ahead and stand on my 2 feet, and I let it out. It is what it is. I let it out and do what I got to do. But I can sit there when my son has done something or he feels some type of way. I can sit there and get it out of him without making him feel like I'm getting frustrated because he's not telling me what's going on. A lot of the single mothers have an issue because y'all are so much getting so frustrated. The kid or child is frustrated and it's making you frustrated. And because you're getting so frustrated with it, you don't see it's affecting the communication when you're trying to find out what's going on. Again, this is just from my personal experiences that I've witnessed with my kid's mom and, other friends with their kids, mom in situations where I've been around. But again, it can all be learned, right? what they're saying is because of that roadblock. To me, what I'm saying is because of that roadblock when it comes to emotional intelligence. That's why it's tougher for women to get them problems out of the kids to resolve the issues, because of that frustration issue where one becomes frustrated with the other. So me personally, it's I'm always going to be there to help my kid's mom, and I wish every father would try to do the same. I know we don't live in a perfect world, but when it comes to the kids, I wish that part of it was perfect, to say. Last little thing here, and then I'll kind of wrap it up. I was actually surprised by this. Oh, sorry. I asked specifically if they ever noticed the same problem from single father households. They highlighted how single father households were much more rare, but that they did not notice the same problems. My partner works at a university, and he tells me the same story. When it comes to the students, the ones he normally has the most trouble with and the ones most likely to drop out and skip lectures come from, you guessed it, single mother households. However, even though single father households are rare, he has not ever noticed the same problems from such households. Now, further issues with the economic link can be found by looking specifically at the UK. The UK has been lauded for its success in reducing single mother poverty, and yet that reduction has not coincided with an improvement in outcomes for the children, nor has greater acceptance of single mother households. Also, improving education among single mothers doesn't seem to be changing things in terms of outcomes, with single mothers much more likely to have good educations now than they used to, but men more likely to be doing worse. For example, 20% of single fathers don't have high school diplomas versus only 15% of single mothers. And single mothers are now more likely to be university educated and by a decent amount. But if it's not economics, acceptance, or education, what is it? Are men on average better at single parenthood? Wow. So all in all, what they're trying to say is you can take away all of the variables that people throw in your way or throw in your face to make it seem like this is why single fathers are better. But they've already done that. And from all the research that they've done, that's not the case. So all of that was just to say, because as a father in general, just as a father, I'm not going to sit here and allow people to bash these men that are doing the best that they can for these children at the highest level that they can be, just for them to sit up here and get talked about or treated differently based on the fact that you feel like they can't do it when studies and facts show that they are actually better equipped to do so. I said better equipped, not better at it. So with that being said, with all of the arguments and all of the cases, again, children do need both parents. But if you're going to bash fathers and say that a father can't be a single parent, I want you to look at your research and come back and have that argument again. And when I say research, don't call your cousin, sister, auntie, mama, none of them. Go do actual research from people that have done these studies, that have gone to these places where it's to school or churches or after school programs, activities, and they've done the studies to find out why these children act out. Until you've done all of that, I don't want to hear it. Come with the proper facts, look at the right details, and understand that a father can do the same thing. You know, the number one reason why you feel like a father can't do it is because for all the single fathers out there making it happen, the one thing they don't need to be great fathers is praise. They don't need it at all. They don't need praise to be great parents. You know what they need? They need responsibility to be held on to, and that's what they're doing. They're holding on to their responsibility as parents. They're doing their goddamn job, and they calling it a day. But for all of that other shit that everybody's talking about, man, again, shout out to me and all the other dads out there. We are doing our goddamn thing. We are the greatest generation of dads that has ever come to see this goddamn earth to show that we in our kids' lives and doing our goddamn thing. Let these women be bitter and hate by themselves, and hopefully they'll heal and be better persons and individuals. But to those fathers out there doing your thing, I salute you. I appreciate you, and I respect the hell out of you for staying 10 toes down and making sure the kids got their daddy in their life doing what the hell they need to do. All right. Sorry, y'all. I had to get that off my chest. But definitely don't forget to follow me. You know, Facebook is Mark Quan Thomas, or choose your character or Quan Facebook Jail Thomas, because I might be in Facebook jail again, especially if y'all seen the reindeer picture I put up yesterday or last night. It's pretty funny. I got some new thing. It's a reindeer, but the reindeer is a snout that I could put my you know what in. Yeah, probably for OnlyFans. Anyway, TikTok is Juss Quanni23 or Juss Quanni. You can also find me on Twitter as Juss Quanni or Quanni702. Instagram is the same way, Juss Quanni or choose your character. Don't forget to reach out and follow me. Shout out to everybody else. You know, I'll catch y'all next week on the hottest radio station on the planet, Hot 702.5 FM. Peace, love, and hair grease. I'll catch y'all next week.